The Fisherman and the Djinn, a classic tale from the Arabian Nights. A poor fisherman, weary after casting his net many times without reward, pulls up a heavy jar sealed with the mark of Solomon. Before we begin this journey, we are asking for your support. Please like, share, comment, and follow. That will motivate us to keep making amazing videos for you. There was once a poor fisherman, a man who rose before dawn and returned after dusk, his back bent from the weight of nets and years. Each day, he was bound by a rule: he would cast his net only 4 times, no more, no less, for such was his custom, taught by his father before him. On one weary morning, the sea was unkind. His first cast brought up nothing but bones and mud. The second net tangled with refuse and broken shells. The third brought only stones that weighed heavy but gave no reward. By the fourth and final cast, despair sat heavy on his chest, for his family waited hungry at home. But when he pulled, he found the net burdened by something strange. It was no fish, but a tall jar, sealed tight with a lid of brass, engraved with the name of King Solomon, the wise prophet who once ruled over men, beasts, and spirits alike. The fisherman's eyes widened. Perhaps, he thought, this was fortune at last. Gold, jewels, or treasures hidden by time. With trembling hands, he pried open the jar. But instead of riches, a cloud of smoke poured forth, thick and dark, rising higher and higher until it shaped itself into a towering Djinn, a spirit vast and fearsome. Its voice shook the air like thunder as it cried out its freedom. But freedom came with fury. For the Djinn had been locked away in that jar for centuries, punished and forgotten. At first, he had sworn to reward the one who freed him. But as years turned to centuries and centuries to bitterness, his mercy soured into rage. Now, standing before the fisherman, the Djinn roared. "Prepare to die, for this is your fate. I swore long ago that whoever released me would not walk free, but meet only death." The poor fisherman's heart quaked within him. He, who sought only a meal for his children, had instead netted his doom. Thus begins the struggle, not of strength against strength, but of wit against destiny. The fisherman stood trembling before the mighty Djinn, whose eyes burned like fire and whose voice shook like the sea in storm. Death hung heavy in the air, for the spirit had vowed destruction. Yet the fisherman, though poor and weary, was not without cunning. His strength lay not in his arms but in his mind, and in that moment of despair, he clothed himself with wisdom. He bowed low, speaking in a voice both humble and sly. "O great Djinn, master of smoke and flame, I believe your words. But one thing puzzles me: how could a being so vast, so tall as the sky, fit inside this little jar? Surely, such a story cannot be true." The Djinn's pride was stung, for spirits are creatures of power, and power demands belief. With a laugh like rolling thunder, he declared, "Doubt me? Then watch, and I will show you." At once, his towering form began to coil and shrink. Smoke twisted downward, folding upon itself, thinner and thinner, until at last it streamed back into the jar from which it came. When all the smoke was sealed inside, the fisherman, quick as the snap of a fish's tail, snatched up the lid of brass and clamped it shut. He pressed the seal of Solomon back upon the mouth of the jar, and the Djinn was trapped once more, raging and roaring from within. The jar shook in his hands, but the spirit could not escape. Now the fisherman stood taller, his fear replaced with triumph. He said aloud, "O spirit, it seems the sea has taught me well. The small fish may outswim the great, if only he is swift. You sought to kill me, yet by wit I have returned you to your prison. Tell me then, why should I release you at all?" The Djinn's voice grew desperate, echoing from the jar. "Mercy! Mercy, fisherman! Let me out again, and I swear, by the name of Solomon himself, that I will bring you blessing instead of harm. I will lead you to treasures hidden beneath the sea, and fortune will be yours." The fisherman did not rush. He weighed the spirit's words carefully. The fisherman, trembling yet clever, listen as the mighty Djinn revealed his fury. At first, the Djinn had sworn if anyone freed him within the first 100 years, he would grant that person wealth and happiness. But as centuries passed, his heart grew dark. In his bitterness, he declared instead that whoever freed him later would meet only death. And so, the fisherman, who had innocently broken the seal, found himself facing a destiny twisted by the Djinn's anger. But fate has its own mysteries. The fisherman did not bow down. Instead, he used wisdom in place of strength. He tricked the Djinn back into the bottle by appealing to the Djinn's pride, questioning whether such a mighty being could even fit back into such a small vessel. Blinded by arrogance, the Djinn entered again, and the fisherman swiftly sealed it shut. Here lies the lesson of destiny: greed breeds destruction. The Djinn's bitterness turned his blessing into a curse. Wisdom guides survival. The fisherman's cleverness, not his power, saved his life. Destiny is not fixed. Though the Djinn vowed his death, the fisherman's choices reshaped his path. Like the waves of the sea, destiny ebbs and flows. Some moments crash hard against the shore, threatening to drown us. Others retreat, leaving behind treasures in the sand. The fisherman teaches us that destiny is never only what we are given, it is also what we make of it, with patience, courage, and wisdom. In the end, the story whispers this truth: greed enslaves, kindness liberates, but wisdom decides the course of destiny. Greed blinds even the mighty, but wisdom and kindness guide even the weakest hand. Destiny is not simply what we meet, it is what we make of what we are given.